It was hot.
I think
as fucking sin, though.
You started feeding me water at the end of the day. You're like, you're going to need some water, which was very appreciated.
Yeah. I think that's one thing we did. We definitely try to take care of each other if we. It's like a couple, like two fucking idiots trying to Dumb and Dumber trying to take care of each other was probably a comical scene to begin with.
Welcome to the Chip and Cern Show, the podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. They were possibly separated at birth, only to be rejoined to create the sweet sounds that will caress your deepest cochlea. The show is real, random, rant-filled, and ruthless. Please be warned that the show may hurt your feelings, offend your grandma, and even kick your dead dog in the balls. So get ready, and let's get this shit started.
This shit has started. I'm Chip.
I'm sorry.
You are listening to the Chip and Cern Show.
Yes, once again. Or very possibly for the first time.
Well, here we are. We're back. And I feel like we should probably get this out of the way. You know, I know in the title of the episode, we try to put, like, what are the topics of conversation? So for those who peruse, the Cerny Sluts and the Chipmunks can assess if they deem the episode listenable. We all know they should all be listened to, obviously. But
always.
I feel like today I have a hunch it's going to be a heavy baseball conversation. So if that's not your thing, you know, we have fucking 400 episodes to go scratch your Chip and Cern.
Maybe we'll throw in a couple stories or something else to tickle your feelings. Yeah, maybe we should just put topics, smorgasbord, charcuterie board, or butter. Have you seen the butter boards on Instagram? Those had a moment for a while. Yeah, they like smeared the shit right on the board. I was like, I don't know. It took me a while to figure it out. I was like, I don't know any part of that.
They like take the butter and then you basically like kind of, you know, with a fucking spackling and putty knife, you like you like spackle it over the board. You put some like fucking flaky salt on there, some flours, whatever. And then the part that I don't like is then you get randos scraping their whatever vessel they're putting the butter across everywhere everyone else is. Like, it's too much contamination.
Double dipper. You know, there's some double dippers. It's always got to be some double dippers. I
mean, our kids, I feel that they're pretty trained up. Like, I showed them the trick. I'm like, hey, if you want to take a French fry, because my daughter's into aioli, which my wife, you know, my wife hates fucking mayonnaise. And she hates anything even in the vicinity or tangential to mayonnaise, which aioli does fall into that clearly.
Not really a sauce fan.
No, she's her sandwiches. They're like desert islands. There's fucking just dry, no condiments on them, just cheese only. And anyway, so my daughter, we were like, okay, aioli, but then I saw her double dip it. I'm like, here's what you do. You take the fry or whatever, you break it in half. That way you have two clean ends and you can get your sauce. So we got them trained up, but we were at we had an event, a social gathering, you know, with all the first grade, my daughter's friends, like kind of a little friend group. We had a little outdoor thing. It was a smash hit. It was really fun. And, but one of the other parents, I caught little double dip action into the salsa with the chip.
With the chip too. I mean, if I dip with a chip, the whole chip's going in.
Yeah. First of all, you just one bite a chip. They're perfect. They're the perfect one bite size. Like,
I always go for the rolled one. You know, ones that kind of fold it over because you have a little scoop action going on. You have a little cup.
I do like to get a little bit of the liquid, like kind of if there's some liquid in there, I do like a little bit of the juice, there.
Double dip a chip.
Yeah, major Seinfeld Costanza vibes on that one, but you know, I let it go. I wasn't going to die. I didn't want to, you know, bring the party to a screeching halt by calling them out about it.
You know what? I've been personally contemplating, you know, since COVID, I think some people have forgotten how to act in general. I almost want to carry like the party foul flag, like a red flag.
Yeah.
Just throw it out with the whistle. Like just pull it out.
Like a red flag, like, whoa.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yep.
This is not okay.
Well, yeah, this is a flag. Wait, this is a penalty. if you mouth off, it's going to be a personal foul, 15 yards. But right now, we're only at 5.
So keep it up. But yeah. So we did have some double dipping. But there's your non-baseball topic for the day. But as I mentioned, I'm headed back. We're the family headed back to the Folsom area this weekend. So we're gonna meet in the flesh again for a nice little shindig thing. And one of the hotels that's very close proximity to where this event is literally the hotel that my wife and I exchanged wedding vows.
Yes.
In 2009. So whatever the math, 14 years ago. We just took that over a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was say.
I don't know about. I mean, you're not that far behind us. You're maybe 2 or 3 years behind, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it was 12 years here this year.
Okay.
So yeah, 2 years behind. Yeah.
So you're just right behind. But this year was the first one that it was like, okay, it's been a while. Like, okay, we're getting somewhere now. Like, maybe it hit me, but so we're also to the point with the kids that we can't swing the one bed sleep situation anymore. We got to get 2 at a minimum. We learned lessons were learned on previous trips.
Lessons were learned last on the 4th of July.
Lessons were learned, and so I called in and I saw the price online, and I'm always out for a deal. I checked your Travelocities and your Kayak and all these deal sites, but this hotel has, I know it has it because we got it on it's like the honeymoon suite. It has a king bed, it has an extra room, and most importantly, a fucking spa tub in unit. Like literally a fucking spa in the middle of the hotel thing. Super fucking campy, but who doesn't love a good spa in the room situation?
It's like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Remember, Harry and Lloyd were in the little love nest.
Yeah, that's right. They were. So I thought, oh wow, the kids will love a spa there, and it will be nice and relaxing. But the deal sites never give you, it's only like, okay, here's the 2 queens,
it's like
or
the basic
shit.
Yeah.
So I thought I called in. They picked up, couldn't fucking understand a word that they said. And I was like, hey, I'm looking at some rooms. I was wanting any discount. I feel like, you hear a lot, especially, with like DoorDash. Oh, if you order right from the restaurant, they'll give you better pricing because you're saving them 20, 30% on this. So I thought maybe the same with hotels. So I called in and I said, also, I actually got married at this hotel. Is there some sort of like discount?
alumni
discount. And she's like, she kind of thought about it for a second, and then I think in her head that made kind of sense, right?
Yeah.
And it's close enough to her. And I said, oh yeah, we're actually coming to kind of celebrate. I had a little bit of a story to go with it. Like, oh, we got married, we're coming back to celebrate. It's been 14 years. She's like, well, let me check with my manager. And so she came back, manager, put the fucking kibosh on that pretty quick. So I was like, She's like, well, yeah, do you want to book? I'm like, I'd rather not. I'll just do it online, because it was going to end up being the same price. So I fucking lost out on that. But I tried. I tried. You can't throw me like 10%, $30 off.
Just cover the tax. Just cover the tax on the room.
Or you got like give me a bottle of your shitty Sacramento Sauvignon Blanc or whatever that you're serving up in the bar. But we that 14 years ago, but we still had a great time at that the wedding.
Oh yeah,
some of us maybe we might say too good of time.
Yeah,
Tony, Cerny.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it extra. In fact, when Tony went down for the night,
yeah,
I'd enjoy it double the time for him.
I think what the problem was with our wedding was that, and we got married when we were 22.
Yeah.
So, I mean, literally broke as a fucking joke. And as we're listening out, that we are already stretched they're like, oh yeah, well, it's cheaper if you get married, not at like 4:00 when everyone else gets married, but 11 a.m. like the AM shift on the wedding.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I would love to save $1,500 and get married at 11 in the morning. But the problem that we didn't really think about, or maybe we did think about, we just didn't really care too much, was then the drinking starts.
That was never
way early.
That was never thought
It was
about.
never, probably never was. So by the time the wedding concluded and the dancing and the festivities had ended, it was 2-3 o'clock. But there had been hours and hours and hours of just drinking on an open bar.
And then we went to the Hacienda, which is not the Hacienda anymore.
Oh, really? I think
I think it's like something of Hacienda. It's the new owners, basically. They whoever was packed it in. They went over there and thought, I think it was, I don't remember. It wasn't my idea. I think it was Tony's idea at the time, was to get margaritas. So, and we were drinking lots of beer. I mean, there was a lot of beer drinking.
Yeah.
And then we went and started pounding the hard stuff. And I think there were shots. I believe there was.
I didn't.
Shots of some kind of. You weren't there. You were.
I think we went and we were like, we need to take a nap. We need to consummate this marriage.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah. I'm going to go consummate the marriage. So we continued to party elsewhere until you were ready to come back.
Refreshed. Yeah. And I remember this vividly. Me texting, like, okay, CERN, we're up from our nap. We're feeling good. Like, let's go party. Let's go get it on. And you're like, well, we're headed back. And I remember walking down and seeing Tony just fucking literally like in a movie, what a drunk looks like, stumbling through the automatic doors. Yeah. And like, I'm going to go lay down for a second.
His crutch. Sliding against the wall, trying to keep him upright.
He still had his like wedding, his groomsman suit on.
Yeah,
still dressed to the nines.
Joe was actually napping in the room.
Played it smart.
I think, remember, because he had like worked in the morning or something.
That's right.
And he had come off of work, so he was trying to catch up on some rest.
Yeah,
and. Because he said basically Tony opened the door and just like fucking face planted, like a classic. You would see like a movie, like they fall, the drunk falls, or like someone on The Simpsons or something. But he said it was exactly like that. He just walked in and just fell down.
Yeah, and then that's when we were ready to go out, and we had our second win. But I don't think
I was still going. I remember
Tony.
I was like, "Where the hell is Tony?" And you're like, "I don't think he's coming back."
I don't. You were still at the Hacienda because I think we went up and met you guys and some other of our friends.
I remember Tony had said, "I'm going to go to the bathroom." That's what he had said, and I said, "Okay."
That's always.
And he was gone, and I was like sitting there, like, "Where the hell is he?" And then, like, I think I went to go. Was going to leave, and then you showed up, and I was like, "Tony said he's going to the bathroom." You're like, "I don't think he's coming back." I was like, "What?" He's like, "He's at the room." I was like, "Well, what?"
I remember, this is such a early 20s, reckless drinking thing. When your friend would be like, well, first of all, yeah,
then you knew it was, they're battling a demon.
There's a demon. It's trying to come out and the labored breathing. And then I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. That was
they start sweating. Yeah. They just start sweating, and it's like 70 degrees, and they're just like profusely sweating.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man.
And then you're like, well, there's a whole plate of food that you haven't touched in the last 20 minutes. So there's a lot of signs pointing to this is not going to turn out well. So you're either going Irish goodbye or you're going to go boot in somewhere in the bathroom or get the demon out.
Now, and remember, if you remember Tony, when he would drink, he just wouldn't be like, well, let's say like you or I, when we were drunk, everyone knew we were drunk.
Yes.
Right. We were loud, and I'm sure it's still holds true today, but he wouldn't really exhibit any kind of signs.
Symptoms. Yeah. Not much outwardly like symptoms or signs that,
No. Like, if he got pulled over, he may pass a DUI, checkpoint.
Yeah. He could keep it straight, sort of.
But when he started to walk, that was when, because you can only fight it so much. I mean, when the world's spinning, you can't.
I mean, literally, your body's trying to shut you down because it's fighting being poisoned by the alcohol. So your body's trying to shut it down. You know, let's land this plane. Take this guy right into those automatic doors. But yeah, it was a good time though. It was a good time.
It was.
It was hot. I think you started
feeding me water at the end of the day. You're like, you're going to need some water, which was very appreciated.
Yeah. I think that's one thing we did. We definitely try to take care of each other if we. Yeah. It's like a couple, like two fucking idiots trying to Dumb and Dumber trying to take care of each other was probably a comical scene.
In New York, remember New York? We did that.
Yeah.
In fact, remember when Tony got drunk that one time?
We had to walk
that guy. Yeah, we had to walk through Jamaica, Queens. What were we thinking?
I mean, we were thinking that $79.99 sounded pretty good to split 4 ways for a hotel room. That's what we were thinking.
Yeah.
And that New York story, remember we were, whatever time we got back to our hotel, pissed drunk. And this is Jamaica, Queens, New York.
The subway with people going to work. They're dressed in a suit. They were with their briefcase sitting down on the subway. And we were fucking
just
beyond
sloshed.
Done.
Just fucking probably.
Didn't the bars close at 4 there? I think it was. It was 2 hours later.
And we did everything within our power to take it to the limit.
Yeah, we did.
And there was a McDonald's there because Tony had been booting on the subway, waiting for the subway to come. He's battling his own demons there.
Yeah.
And so we knew.
It was like The Exorcist.
It was. And there was huge rats around. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And we knew we have to get some food in this kid or else. Or all of us, we have to get food because
we got to get some food. He especially needs some food because actually I do know what time we got in. It was 6 a.m. We got in at 6 a.m.
Because the subway from Manhattan would take like over an hour, right? To get.
Remember, we were drunk, so we were on like the wrong subway. We ended up like somewhere. We had to get off. We had to ask some fucking stranger.
And this is before. It's not like we had Google Maps. Like, okay, take me back to my hotel. Blah blah blah. Okay, go here, go there. We were figuring it out at 4 a.m. And then somehow we
completely drunk. And they have a great underground system.
Yeah.
But if you're a newbie and you're trying to read that spider web of what they had going on the fucking board,
and it's all converging and going in and out of focus.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it benefited us that we were literally at the end of the line. We couldn't fail.
No,
we were
this is the only train that goes out.
We couldn't fail.
Spot.
We had to be on the orange line.
Most of the people in New York were really nice, and they knew we were out of town and we were fucked up. And the guy was telling us what to do. Like, okay, got it.
And then
who's the least drunk? You got it. Got it.
Like, who's the least drunk? And be like, I don't know who's winning. That's it's not that guy. Maybe it's one of us.
Yeah, it's not the guy throwing up the trash can.
He might be the least drunk in the next hour or two, but we didn't have a car to go through the McDonald's drive-thru, so we stood there and waited for the next car to come in, and we had probably like $20, and we're like, hey, could you get us a couple, fucking sausage egg McMuffins or McGriddles or whatever, and keep the rest of the money's yours. Just get us like 5 sandwiches or something. And I remember giving him the money thinking, very likely we just lost $20 and we're going to get no sandwiches.
There's a 50-50 chance in my mind. Actually, it was like...
It was 80-20.
70-30. Yeah.
80-20 at best. We were getting sandwiches. But he fucking delivered. And he tried to give us the change back, but I think we were insistent on his...
just keep it. Thank you. Then.
And then we took those up to the hotel. And of course, because we've told some of these New York stories before, but how we even got invited from Tony's family on their family vacation is beyond me to even begin to.
That was the first and probably, I think it was the last time, because I remember hearing Tony's dad it was like probably like 8 years later. He's like, I'm still in the doghouse for you guys. Hey, we didn't twist your arm.
Yeah, I mean, but we had a packed itinerary. It was like, we had a Yankees game at noon, so we probably had to be up at 9, and we're showing up at 6 in the morning.
No, I think I remember this one correctly. So this one was, we actually had to be. We were going to the Statue of Liberty.
Ellis Island.
Yeah, Ellis
Right?
Island, actually, that's what it was. We were going
Sagittarius,
there,
okay.
and it was going to be in the morning. It was going to be like we were going to like leave at like 8 a.m. Remember, it was like I think it ended up. Fortunately, there were some slowpokes. It wasn't us because I remember being
We were ready
to rock
go.
at like 8:30.
Which could you imagine right now at age 36 being stumbling drunk, falling asleep at 6 and trying to rally for an 8 a.m.? Like I don't even think it's possible.
No, I mean, if
I
I have
would need some
if I have one
narcotics.
too many beers now,
Yeah.
if I have one too many beers now, and that's not like I'm getting drunk. If I just have one too many, I'm feeling it for like a day.
It's just one over the edge,
kind
not
of off.
t-
Yeah,
tumbling down the cliff.
25.
Yeah. But that was good. We were clowning around in that as well. We were looking up this is at Ellis Island. You can rent, they had a computer system or some sort of internal network, and for $7 you could like look up like, oh, like let me see if I can find my Nana, like, oh, let me look it up. Learn about your hair, study some family tree.
Yeah, see if you had a relative that came through or whatnot.
So what we did after, 2 seconds finding out, okay, none of our family came through Ellis Island, we answered that question about 30 seconds. We started seeing if there was anybody named like Dick and Balls that came through, and all sorts
There was a Harry Balls. Remember
That's
that?
right.
Harry Balls. Which then I think you took a picture of it.
I think we did, or we tried to print it out, but then
We were laughing, and then the computer just shut off.
yeah, they quickly came over and restricted our access and just told us to get the fuck out of there. Probably.
Yeah, like, okay, your time's up. I was like, well, I thought we had 5 minutes. It was only like 2. They're like, no, it was. I think they said, no, your time's up. I was like, okay.
Okay. At least we didn't fight him. We just were like, okay, yeah, like, the fun is over for now. But
Yeah, we get it. It wasn't. I think as I look back on all the stuff that we've gotten in trouble for, on the golf course and stuff, I think we mitigate our getting in trouble because usually, like, we know that we've crossed the line, and we usually don't argue.
Yeah, we know we're in a gray area, and we might have to curb our enthusiasm or just stop altogether and ask for forgiveness and move along.
Yep. Like, oh, okay, you're right. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We thought
not that we always listen. Not that we always listen, but like, okay, we never try to like, what? Yeah, your fucking mind. Like, all right,
right. Go Karen on him or something. And
no, it's like,
for the most part, these are victimless crimes. We're not.
we're just horsing
we're
around
not
looking for
hurting
Harry
anybody.
Balls, and just laughing and making it
fucking stupid. We're just being stupid idiots.
Yeah, I do remember them coming up like, all right, you're done. Like, okay, well, I was done anyway. There was no,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't see Grandpa and Grandpa come through here. But Cerny, we have a new Out with Pokemon Go, and we're all about the Immaculate grid.
I am all about that stuff. I had seen like on Instagram, it's like they'll do like this player, and it's like he's like grayed out or whatever, shadowed out, and it has like teams, just teams down the left, all the teams that this person had played for, and kind of in order, and it's like who's this player? And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was like a grid. I'd seen like John Boy playing something like that.
I thought they just made it up though, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
So I thought they were just doing it for their own show. And then when you had text, are you guys playing the Immaculate grid? I was like, what? And then I clicked it, and I was like, oh, shit, this is a real thing.
Yeah. So if you're, for the uneducated, this is by Baseball Reference, which it's basically baseball stats database of every MLB player
ever.
They
That's
bought
actually
this.
my go-to when I look up when I want to argue something with my dad. I usually go and look it up.
So it's a 3x3 grid. And so here's what's today. So on the left-hand side, you have Kansas City, so the Royals, the A's, and then the Mets, and then on the top 3 slots, Houston, Marlins, and then All-Stars. So it will always have 4 teams, and then maybe it'll be like Cy Young winner or 200
MVP.
hits a season, All-Star, whatever, and you have to in each square say, okay, who played on the Royals and the Astros?
Yeah, almost like a Sudoku kind of like you have to
like a
match
Wordle,
kind of
like a Wordle thing too. And then you just start typing the names, and then there's also part of it which I kind of like is what's called the rarity score, which is, so for the, let me see here. let me look. So for Kansas City Royals All-Stars, there's 48 potential options. And the rarity score is how rare your guess was. How deep of a pull from the Rolodex was it? Did you get the for example, I picked George Brett. He was a 13-time All-Star for the Royals, so that's probably like one of their most well-known. But did you get Greg Holland from 2013?
No.
Never fucking heard of that guy.
I picked
Brett Saberhagen, David Cohn.
For the Royals? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that would have been a good pull. So anyway,
I picked George Brett too. That was when I first started. When we first started, I wasn't really picking up on the rarity score until later on. It's my first couple rounds. I was just trying to to fill it out.
Yeah, and you only get 9 guesses. So if you get one wrong, you're not getting immaculate.
You're not going 100%. Which
you just did the other day.
Yeah,
I got 9 or 8 out of 9, but
it was no, that was the basically, and it's almost like it kind of keep them together somewhat. Like it was like the AL East was that I think when we got it right.
Yeah.
I got 100%. I think it's fun because we share it with Joe and Stat Boy, Dana. We all share our answers or share.
It's like whenever you finish it in the morning, just the same as Wordle, you could share it to your group chat or whatever, and then we all roast accordingly. They have a football one as well.
I play the football one too. I do it with the.
I can't even bother. I'm too out of my depth with the football.
I struggle a little bit on. I do about the same as Joe and Dana. Some of them I can't. Like today there was
like the Browns and the. I'm like, who the fuck?
It took me 3 times to get the fucking 3,000-yard passer for the Browns. I was like,
I still don't even know.
Baker Mayfield is what I got right, but it was I was thinking I was like, okay, Deshaun Watson? No, I was like, okay, I guess he never threw it with the Browns. I guess it only counts as a Texan. I guess you have to do it with that team. Some of it, I got one wrong the other day. It was like, who's the Raider and a Saint? So I said Derek Carr. Wrong, because I guess Derek Carr technically hasn't played anybody. He's on the Saints, but he hasn't played a game with the Saints. So I was like, fuck.
Oh man, you got a technicality. I have noticed that this does expose your gaps in something was about the Devil Rays or the Royals, and I'm like, I know a couple of the stars, but if it's who played on this, I struggle with that. And if obviously relief pitchers, if you have good relief pitcher knowledge, I think you would probably do pretty well because those players tend to jump around to more teams and stuff.
I think with football, if you know like offensive linemen and stuff, you'll do better because I don't know. Someone's like, oh, this person played. I was like, oh, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Yeah.
And there was one a couple days ago. There was one a couple days ago that had the Rams, like clean house on the Rams. Don't worry about that.
Nice.
But that was, I think that was the 3 I got. That was that one I got 3 out of 9. It was just the 3 Rams.
You got the Rams. You got all the Rams row. Yeah. I was saying like the Braves came through, and I was like, okay, I feel good about the Braves. And then I think the A's were on there, and I'm also been having these like incorrect memories where in my head I'm trying to picture the player, and I'm like, and I like close my eyes. I'm like, I think I've seen him on a baseball card in a Marlins jersey. And I'll type it in wrong. I'm like, whoa, fuck! I thought, it's like I misimposed. I had incorrect vision.
What else I had to figure out too is once you use that player, you can't use them again. So you have to be careful.
Yeah.
because I like the football one. There was one where it was like, who was in Eagles to the left, and then on the top it was like Niners, Cardinals, and then like 3,000-yard receiver or 1,000. Sorry,
Yeah, that's right.
1,000-yard receiver. So the only Eagle I can think of that was 1,000-yard receiver was Terrell Owens, but then I couldn't use him as an Eagle and a Niner. So I, blew my wad on that one. I was like, fuck. So I had to be careful, like this last one, where it was like Yankee and Red Sox, and then like Yankee Hall of Famer. Well, I wasn't going to use Babe Ruth for Hall of Famer because I was about to do that, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, you can pick 50 fucking
million
Hall of
fucking
Famers.
Yankees Hall of Famers. Just like, you can go down the list on that. I think for that one, I went with Johnny Damon. That was the big name that I could think of.
I went with Babe Ruth there and Johnny Damon for Rays and Yankee because he played for the Rays at the end of his career.
See, I missed that. On that one I did miss. I did have a good pull today. I was pretty proud of it. Marlins, Dodgers, Marlins, Mets. Mike Piazza.
Marlins Mets, yeah, Mike Piazza.
He was on there for like a week. He was on the Marlins for a week.
I
4
didn't
games.
know that.
It's just one of those things that I fucking have deep in my brain from, 1997 trade deadline. Why do I have that?
Like the one that happened this last week, who was on the Red Sox and the Mariners. And I got James Paxton. And I only got that because I just saw him on the trading block for Boston. I knew him as a Mariner.
Yeah.
But I was like, potential players to be traded. James Paxton. I was like, that motherfucker still pitches? I had no idea. I had no idea. I was like, he's on the Red Sox? I was like, fuck, I didn't know that. And then he came up. I was like, oh, I got this one.
I know. It's nice that, and I like it because it keeps it fresh, but I clearly, I have gaps in my baseball knowledge, like, from mid 90s to 2000, 2005 odds, somewhere in there. Like I feel pretty, like I got a pretty good grasp on it, but then, during college, like there's definitely a lapse in the knowledge. It's coming back now, but I feel like I missed some of this that, it's just not coming off the top of the head as quickly as I once did, but it's still fun.
No, it's still fun. It's still, you're right. There's still, I think back in our heyday when we didn't have jobs and shit, it was like, we played fantasy. That was also, I think, helps.
Oh yeah.
we could really rattle it off, but
yeah, but it's a fun little way to spend, some time when you're taking a dump in the morning or whatever. Just like try to crank this thing
tinker
out.
stinker time.
Yeah. I'll take a look in the morning, right when it pops, and I'm like, okay, I'll start noodling on it, and I'll plug in a couple. They give the couple, like, usually 3 or 4. I'll kind of get fairly easily, and then I got a noodle on the other ones.
Usually, it's like the back row because it's always like who's an MVP or an All Star, Rookie of the Year, whatever it is. Usually, I clean house on those first, and then I start getting on the players.
Yeah, it's a good call. Good call on that one. So check out ImmaculateGrid.com, I think is what it is. But
yeah, it's too fun.
And then you could do a little studying, like show all the combinations.
Yeah, when you're all done. Yeah, I do that too. Just to.
Who did you get anybody for the 67 players for the Marlins and the A's? I'm looking through the list and I'm not. Dan Herron, I probably should have remembered that. Billy Koch, wow.
I did not get that one. Dana got that one.
Yeah, that's a tough. Mike Piazza also would have played there. Tim Raines and Sergio Romo.
Dana got
Romo was on the Marlins?
Must have been.
Dude, this guy's been on. How many fucking teams has this guy been on?
You know what else? Look up Rich Hill. I swear to God, I'm just going to guess Rich Hill on every single one. I don't know.
It's not a bad thing. Okay, so Romo was on for 8 years. He was on the Giants, as we know him.
Yep.
Then the next 5 years, he was on the Jays, Dodgers, Rays, back to the Jays, Marlins, Twins, Oakland, Toronto, Seattle, Toronto.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's like, that's half the league almost right there. And his 11 years or 17 years of service. He's out of the game now, though.
Rich Hill. I saw something on. Yeah, he's played for
on
the Cubs,
what, Dodgers now?
The Orioles, the Red Sox, the Guardians, the Angels, the Yankees, the A's, the Dodgers, the Twins, the Rays, the Mets. Wow. And he's back back to Boston, and then he's with Pittsburgh. So
and the Cubs, and the Orioles.
Yeah, so he's
Jesus.
Yeah, he's been on every single fucking team almost in baseball.
Okay, so I think there's a couple. If you can have a couple good pitchers or relievers in your head that journeyman might be a good one in there. But I like it. I also like getting the low rarity scores. Like if I can get one that maybe less than 10% of people have guessed, I'm sort of proud of myself for that one. I'm like,
right.
Okay, good pull. But then I bust the rest of the grid. But it's still good. But and I don't have very much too big a knowledge on some of the way old stuff beyond the legends, I guess you'll call them. Your Mike Schmidts, your George Bretts, those kind of fellas.
I mean, I know they're Hall of Fame team. What they induct in the Hall of Fame at. If they played for, if George Brett played for somebody else besides the Royals, I wouldn't know that.
Did he? So we gotta look it up. Wow, he played until 1993. Jesus. Nope, Royals all the way through.
No way.
From age 1973 to 1993.
Okay,
Damn.
Wow.
Wow, 305 career. And probably one of the most nuclear ejections ever recorded was that George Brett Pine Tar thing.
They're trying to kill the umpire.
Where he just came. He was going to kill the umpire. I felt like.
Yeah, he came. He lost his mind.
He did. He blew a gasket on that one. But speaking of umpires, fucking this year, dude, they think it's the umpire show.
What is going on?
Someone needs to put him in there. Are you seeing the one like he umpire walks up to, it's just the cat and mouse game. Okay, the pitching coach comes out to the mound to talk to the pitcher and the catcher. He's going to take his maximum allotted time to buy, and we know this. The umpire has to walk out, tell him. He walked out and he fucking ejected him. The guy wasn't even looking at him, and he ejected the pitching coach.
Oh,
I don't know if he was...
Was it for the Rays? Or something
yeah,
like that,
the Rays.
Or the Pirates, something like that. I forget who it was, yeah.
Something, but it was... I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like, come on.
I know, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Or they take their mask off and they stare. It's like, okay, listen, no one's paid to see you.
Yeah, and they also are not, they're certainly not de-escalating things. They're fucking chirping back at them, like, oh, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
oh,
like staring at the dugout,
Yeah.
You're asking for something.
Oh, yeah, they're totally trying to do, they're certainly not trying to, like, tone the situation down. They operate the same as cops. They're like, oh, okay, oh, you're yelling at me. Let me get my fucking gun out then, and then what's going to happen? It's just
I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, and then I saw today that the U.S. government is admitting that there are UFOs. I mean, this was news to me. I mean, everyone, in my stance on it was like, from everything I've heard about how big the universe is, it just seemed impossible that we were the only one, that we're the only fucking people around.
Yeah, now,
like, it was just too vast to make sense to me.
Oh, yeah,
we've confirmed it.
Now, whether it's a UFO, whether it's alien life or not, that's also another question I have to ask. Because the UFO is just an unidentifying flying object, so they're not able to identify it. What is it?
Yeah. And then obviously, I think I saw some clips of that the technology is obviously well beyond what we're capable of.
Oh, yeah, some of those. Some of those were. I was like, that's kind of wild.
I'm like, well, maybe let's not try to fuck around and find out with this, huh? What do you think? It's like, if we don't even know what it is because it's so advanced, don't you think they can destroy us in 2 seconds if they felt like it?
Yeah, if they felt like it.
They've probably deemed us unworthy, and they know we're gonna. They're like, oh, they're going to boil themselves alive on the planet in 50 years, so we don't even need to worry about it.
Skip. I don't want to stay here.
Yeah. not worth taking over. On to the next. Like, so. Well, do you think they listen to the Chip and Cern show on their alien crafts?
I mean, they might stay around if they do. That's
probably Spotify. You think they're Spotify or more iTunes? Oh man, a lot of news this week, and Musk continues his rebranded Twitter to now just X.
X, yeah. He tried to do that. He tried to do that with PayPal, didn't he?
Oh yeah, there was a PayPal. There doesn't seem to be much method to the madness on this, and I also thought that didn't they hire a CEO, like a proper business person, not some fucking crazy lunatic to try to right the ship? But
I don't. You know what? I'm a little ignorant on the Twitter fund because I usually don't. Yeah. I saw you rebranded it to X and stuff, but I don't. Anything else, I'm always just like, I don't like it.
I try to ignore because he's a fucking ignoramus, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's a grifter.
Enough of that. He is. Yeah. We've already spent too much time giving him too much of our brain power.
Give him a plug.
Yeah. But I'm excited this weekend. We get to hang out, get the families together. A little circle jerk, little spa soak. What sort of temperatures are we in store for there in Folsom?
I've cranked it down to 75. It hasn't got to 75. It's like 80. Or
it's not even capable. You have to throw some, to bring some ice over.
I know. I try to fill it with the hose water too, just to get it cold.
Was it one of those where you're just kind of sitting on the edge of it because it gets too steamy in there for too long when the air and the water temp are too hot?
It was 88 and it was like 108 outside, so it felt good.
Nice. Yeah, it probably feels like a nice cold plunge or something compared to 108. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, we gone and done it again, Cerny. We bring the greatness every week, as everybody knows.
Every week.
But
a little bit of past stories, a little bit of baseball grid, a little bit of UFO action.
There it is. Chip's wedding, baseball, UFOs. There's the title of the show. Wham bam. Thank you, man. Till next time, I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
Cheers.